Well, just run it through that fancy, expensive thicknesser that you bought, right? Wrong. No. And I'm back, gesticulating over pieces of wood in my garage. Lucky everyone. Today I'm going to be building a planer sled, or a thicknesser sled, or a flattening sled, jointer sled maybe? I'm honestly not sure what to call it, which is going to mean that I'm going to go viral on YouTube because everyone will be searching for this video. But it's a thing to make the first face of a board flat, as you can see in this little clip. Hey guys, today on You're Not a Woodworker, You're an Office Worker. I'm not saying guys. There's no guys. There's no guys in here. It's just me in my garage and my iPhone. This is absurd. Take two. Hey guys, today on You're Not a Woodworker, You're an Office Worker. I'm going to show you how to use an IKEA shelf to make a piece of wood that's not straight, using a thicknesser but no jointer or planer. I don't really know what they call them in England. In America it's a jointer I don't have and a planer that I have. I think here I have a thicknesser but not a planer. I don't know. I'm going to show you with that tool and an IKEA shelf how to get a wonky board straight that'll help with building a workbench that I'm in the middle of. Let's do this! When it comes to building furniture, I learned the hard way when I built my dining table in America that you can think that being precise doesn't really matter. You know, who cares? I don't mind if it's not perfectly straight. You need to care, because if things aren't precise from the start, especially when you're building a structure, something will be out of square, and then you'll be putting a top on it, and then it will push it up and it won't be flat, and so if you push it down, there's too much stress on it, everything just goes bad. So I bought this 2x4 from Wix, never again, and as you can see, it's not too bad that way, but that way, I don't know if that's showing up, that way it's super twisted. And I'm using this as the kind of, I don't know what these joists. Again, I'm an office worker, I'm not a woodworker. Joists, I've got the legs and I need the things to go underneath the plywood top to stop it from collapsing. The pieces of wood that go across ways, I need this to be straight because I tried putting them in and they're really warped. So you'd kind of think, well, just run it through that fancy, expensive thicknesser that you bought, right? Wrong. No. If I run this through the thicknesser, it's going to squash it down flat, trim off a little bit, and then when it comes back out again, it will pop back into the wrong shape. What I need to do without a jointer is trick the bottom of the thicknesser into thinking that it's flat, so that it takes off, you know, more on one side and less on another side, making a nice, perfectly flat edge. Then I can flip it over, lose the IKEA shelf, and just run it straight through, and it will be a true board. It will be a bit thinner, it won't be 2 inches anymore, but that's okay, I'm making this to measure, so it doesn't really matter. Without further ado, let's pull out the power tools, let's turn on the dust collection, and let's get this IKEA shelf out. This IKEA shelf is, what's it called? I don't know what this shelf is called. It's a shelf. It's a melamine shelf, and it is perfectly flat, as melamine is. Boom. Perfectly flat piece of melamine. And we're going to use this as a planer sled, thicknessing sled. Let's do it. So what we've got here is the flat piece on the bottom, but when I lay the 2x4 on, look what happens when I rock it. It ain't flat. So if I were to run this through the thicknesser, like this, it's going to exert pressure on it, push it flat, take the same amount off the top, but as soon as it comes out the other end of the thicknesser, it's almost going to pop back out of square. Really all a thicknesser is doing is referencing this bottom side and making the top side coplanar with it. Coplanar. I sound like a real woodworker. Coplanar. I've been watching YouTube. It's going to make it matching, basically. The bottom will match with the top, but that's not what we want because the bottom and the top are warped and twisted along like this. So, what we need to do is put this side flat and then put a little shim underneath here. Boop. Little shim under there until it stops wobbling. Then we'll secure it down. I don't have any hot glue, which is what the pros on YouTube use. I don't have hot glue. So I'm going to do a little bit of tape and some super glue in between. That should hold them. And then we'll run it through the planer and we'll see if we can get it straight. So here I've got some brown tape. I'm just going to rip a bit off. Put it on one side. Put it on the other side. And then we'll get some matching kind of area. Boop. Like that, like that. So I've gone in just around the floor like a professional and found this little wedge, this little guy. Look at that. I don't know what that's from, but I reckon pop this in here and then the wobble's gone. See that? No wobbling. So we're gonna stick that down and get some super glue on this thing. I'm gonna use this stuff. I think I got it at Wix. It's not the best, but it does the job. Super glue, and then this activator that makes it stick instantly. So, put a bit of glue on here, bada bing, bada boom. Spray on the other side, and we just push it down, real nice. And then there's no wobble. So we're going to run this through and hope for the best. Okay, I think it might be a little bit harder than it looks on YouTube. What they do on YouTube is they just glue it down and run it through and it just works first time. But the super glue thing is not really worked. And I also think, I don't know, I think maybe that wedge was too big. We're going to try again with another little wedge piece. Right, we're going to try again. I put a slightly smaller wedge on it this time, and I've checked when I've placed it down on this side and this side, and before the wedge was so big that there was no rock, which is good, but I could see daylight all the way through on this side, so it's almost like the wedge was really high on one side but still a bit high on the other side, so the whole thing was tipping up this way, which I think wasn't helping. So hopefully this will be better. Let's see how we go. this thing. Right? All the twist. What twist? Twist is gone. I mean, sure, it's a lot thinner. It was at the start. I would have liked to have done. I've done a pretty bad job. I mean, that is a lot thinner. Right there. So, I had to take off a lot of material, and I mean, I'm not entirely convinced this thing's going to be super strong anymore, but it's straight. It's straight, but it's straight. All right, I think that just about wraps things up for this episode of I'm not a woodworker, I'm an office worker. Is that what we're calling it? Office working, yeah. And now we're gonna have our workbench underway. We've got the side pieces, we've got the legs, we just need those cross pieces, and then we'll bolt down that piece of plywood on the top. And then this table saw will be in a nice bench. Nice. Tune in next time to see me do more office worker things. And hopefully, get better at this woodworking thing.